Hello there people, we are on the 5th of July 2020 and here you are with Dan in Essex, UK. So the main purpose of my channel is to show people how to grow their own fruit and vegetables, no matter what size garden, allotment or growing space they do indeed have. So over the last few years I've been working on a permaculture project here and also annual culture as well, and this is the first year things have really moved on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is start a little bit of a tour and you can have a look and hopefully get some ideas. I'm going to be giving a lot of information as well, so hopefully that will help you out. And you can always subscribe if you want. Please feel free to like and share as well, and of course you can check me out on Dan_Home Gardens on Instagram if indeed you're interested, because growing your own food is so important, probably more important now than ever than it has been in recent times. So I'm going to stop talking now and let's start the tour. Okay, so what I've done today is I've started to take runners of my strawberries. So I've got numerous varieties of strawberry here. Okay, I've got Cambridge Favourite, El Santa, Autumn Royal, Florence, and yes, I think that's it. So down here, these are the Royal Sovereign, which are a very traditional variety. Okay, really tasty, not a heavy cropper, but very delicious indeed. So they put out loads of runners. So what you get, right, is you get a runner that comes off the main plant, the main mother plant, like this. Okay, and what all I do is I simply take it all the way along and I put it in a pot, put a stone over it, and then I put where the root will be into the compost in there, cut off another runner that's coming from it and leave that, and that will root. Okay, so I'll show you a few of those and then you should get the idea. You want to take the first one of each runner and don't worry about the rest that come off of that runner. Okay, so from each pot, which has got 3 plants in, so what I've basically ended up with is about 6 from each one. There will be more, but that's enough for me to get going with. Keep them moist and away you go. You should be having loads of your own strawberry plants, and if you get that right you may never have to buy strawberries again unless you want a different variety. Now how brilliant is that? Okay, so more strawberries down here. You can see that the fig cuttings are absolutely rocking and rolling, variety blanche, looking really beautiful, and I'm really happy with it. The bananas, there you go, look at that banana, putting out all them beautiful runners there, really gorgeous. Okay, so I've had people ask me to do a melon update. Well, here you go, very quickly. Now, I've decided I'm not going to be hand pollinating the melons. Okay, I'm going to leave them to do their thing, and I've noticed a lot of hoverflies are coming in here because I'm leaving the door open, and I'm hoping that they will work for me to pollinate. The reason why I'm not budgeting much time towards melons is the majority of people who have grown melons will realise that they're not a sure thing growing them in a climate such as the UK. Okay, and I'm not willing to budget that much time on something that will not necessarily give me a particularly amazing yield, but they are good fun nonetheless, so I have decided to grow them. Now down here you've noticed that what I've done is put in some sweet corn plants. These are early extra sweet F1, I believe. So there you go, I put them down here in the polytunnel. Now this is probably a bit late to be sowing them, but here in the southeast we tend to get some of the sort of longer and warmer weather by UK standards, which I'm very grateful for indeed. So with the extra microclimate of the polytunnel, that'll be really lovely. Okay, so the ginger you can see here is absolutely rocking and rolling really well, and you may remember I put the grape variety Riesling, I'm going to pronounce it right this time, so I put that in there, really lovely. And here look, blueberries. Now you can see that these blueberries are really starting to come into fruition right now, so really happy with those. Massive crop indeed. I was given these plants a few years ago, okay, and you can really see they're really starting to come on. I've looked after them very well. They're in ericaceous compost, and I'm also giving them an ericaceous drench every few weeks. So looking really well, really lovely healthy leaves, very important. I moved them in here because I think that the birds were starting to eat them. Hey ho, there we go. Now, many of you are aware I'm very passionate about the growing of peaches, okay, and I'm hoping that that passion is going to carry over into nectarines. We'll talk about peaches later on. Okay, so what I've done, this variety of nectarine, which is a new tree to my acquisition. I acquired it on September last year, I think October, something like that. And what I've done, I've kept it in the pot, okay, and I've sunk the pots into the ground. And what I'll do on a yearly basis is move them up and disturb them so that they don't take root through the pots into the ground. But yet at the same time, they are still able to put out their roots through the bottoms of the container there into the ground in order to extract nutrients. So isn't that wonderful? Now down here, I've planted out some kale, okay, very small at the moment. But yes, they will grow. The extra microclimate of the polytunnel will help. Now, of course, there is the issue of them going to seed, because kale generally doesn't like to be too warm, and here in the polytunnel that certainly is an issue. But I put them in and we will see what happens, and at the very least they should grow a lot quicker and I should get a crop much quicker because of the heat acting as an extra catalyst here in the polytunnel. So you see here the peach peregrine I've put in here, look down here, and once again I've sunk that into the ground like that, okay, and got a peach coming later on. Chilies are starting to rock and roll very well now. Look at those down there, really lovely chilies. Isn't that amazing? Really happy. More blueberry plants in here, just absolutely seems to be the year of the blueberry and fruit in general here. Right, right, so I've been doing some harvesting today, and as I do most days at the moment. In fact, some of these peaches I picked yesterday, but there we go, nice bit of peach there, Dixie red. Oh, don't fall on there, cherries. Yep, so you can see there's quite a bit of, they're precariously balanced on now. So, Stella cherries and Dixie red peach, absolutely delicious, lovely and wonderful. I mean, look at just that sure, amazing harvest, there we go. So what we'll do is we'll look up. So I've got lots of spuds, potatoes growing in this bed here, this raised bed. There you go, you may remember when I built it. So these ones here are actually in the ground, in the raised bed. And these ones were the main crop that were in the polytunnel. Okay, Desiree and King Edward. And I moved the pots here, be easier for watering, and I needed to free up some space in the polytunnel. So there we go, so we've got Desiree and King Edward potatoes here, and in a few months I'll be harvesting hopefully several hundred of them. Right, so we're going to go in the polytunnel, and you can see the grapes, Autumn Royal, absolutely fantastico here. Really good, really amazing, really lovely, really beautiful, hopefully really tasty. So now down here, I've got this set up as like a food forest, okay? So me being a complete oaf, when I was picking some peaches the other day, I broke off one of my sweet corns here, but that's a shame. Make sure you do not do the same. So I've got plenty of peaches, Dixie red peaches here, look, still to come. There we go. Really happy with how that's cropped this year. I mean, who wouldn't be? So there we go. Look at those, really lovely, and loads of peaches. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about veg. Now, growing these courgettes, variety zucchini, really lovely. Picked one off of those, going to be having that for dinner shortly. And these are dwarf beans, variety tender green. Had two big sort of collections of those. Really tasty bean. Of course, black fly is an issue. It's particularly this year, although it is in most years. So there we go. I have got a treatment for these, which seems to be working well. So once I can confirm it works well, I'll let you know what it is. But yes, I'm going to be treating these. I've got varieties Butler and Moonlight, okay, runner beans. Okay, now, what we got here, more Butler and Moonlight, grapevine there. And you can see I put in another grapevine down here, okay? This is variety Rhea. Now, I know you're thinking, goodness gracious, Dan, why have you put it there? Well, all this is going to be moved in good time, okay? So they can establish this year, and then eventually, you know, a nice crop will come. Rhea, Suffolk Red, Muller Thurgow, and Venus. Now, the Taberries are starting to go over now, but many of you are aware of just how many I've had off of here, and still getting Taberries, look, still ripening, okay? So I've spoke to you before, I've said it enough times, but I recommend people get Taberries, okay, if they want a relatively easy fruit to grow, which starts fruiting early and carries on, you know, quite to establish itself into the season. Right, okay, so the pear tree, there you go. I don't need to say too much about this. Variety Concord. You can see just how many fruits are on that tree. So it's going to be absolutely loads, and so that's going to be amazing. There's probably, I don't know, 40 or 50 pears here. So they're going to be sort of, the trees wanted to set a lot of pears, which will probably end up being relatively small, but I'm cool with that. I've got no issue with that. Very happy and very grateful it's set this amazing crop. So that then moves us on to grape, variety Lakemont Seedless. So the time is coming up soon in the year where I'm going to be starting to remove some of these leaves here so that the grapes can be hit by the sun, and this will increase the sugar content of the grapes and make them more lovely and honey sweet. In particular, this variety Lakemont Seedless, okay, the grapes are honey sweet, absolutely beautiful and really tasty. I've got loads of examples of Lakemont Seedless on my grape playlist, so I recommend that if you want to find out more about it. Right, okay, so I've got another little permaculture area here, and in fact I run a lot of this in the form of permaculture, food forest style gardening. Now what we got here, look at the top. We'll go from bottom to top, why not? So at the back here I've got squashes, okay, variety Bennings Green Tint. Now I planted them out a bit later than I should have, and I'm really sorry if the wind is hitting this camera and it's unbearable. Yes, I planted them out a bit later than I should have. So I've got zucchini, courgette, zucchini, and Bennings Green Tint squash, and a pumpkin Big Macs at the back. So basically, they should be coming into cropping soon. Now down here, I've got Verde di Milano, okay, which is a variety of courgette. And once again, these plants don't look particularly amazing, but they will be once the nutrition gets into them and they green up a little bit, nice deep green. They'll be really, really nice there. So they're coming on really, really lovely. They're going to be a bit later, but that's fine. I don't mind successional growing. More potatoes here coming on, really, really cool. And here we go. What we got here, we've got apples Worcester Pearman, okay? So this is the biggest crop that this tree has ever set. So I'm probably going to be doing a little bit of thinning out maybe. So yeah, really, really happy with that. And there we go.